In support of the Student Loan Scheme Exemptions and Miscellaneous Provisions Amendment Bill in this third reading. This is another example of great work done in the parliamentary process, so that the outcome from the Select Committee process is the majority of the parties in the House supporting this legislation, with the exception of the Green Party. I must add, Mr Speaker, though, for those who have been watching this debate, from some of the comments from the Labour side, I think they'd be kind of surprised to realise that they did actually vote for this bill. So I think it's important that, you know, when people listen to these speeches, they do have a clear view of who's voting for this bill, and Labour voted for this bill. They got distracted with some other stuff, but I think the important point to notice, Mr Speaker, is that we all recognise that tertiary education is a vital part of growing our economy and growing our country. As the Māori Party Speaker has just said, tertiary education is an investment in our future, and in this particular instance, the government is again delivering a brighter future for all New Zealanders. Yeah. So let's just have a quick look at some of the numbers. If you look at the number of tertiary students, at July 2008, we had approximately 460,000. Of that 460,000, 178,000 have student loans. And the average student loan with IRD as at the 30th of June last year was $16,213. The average time taken to pay off a student loan, according to the Student Loan Scheme Annual Report of October last year, for students who left study in 1999, the median repayment time appears to be about 8 years. So, in effect, what we are doing with this piece of legislation, Mr Speaker, is to make some improvements to the student loan scheme. There's nothing significant to it. It's basically looking at how we can improve what's already in place, recognising the importance that tertiary education has to our economy and to our future. So the conversations that we've had around the value of the debt, I think it's just important to recognise, and I want to reinforce the points that we made earlier. $10.3 billion is a lot of money in anyone's book. So it's important that that debt is managed well, that we are able to look at improvements to the student loan scheme, and also to make sure that Crown assets, $10.3 billion, is managed in an efficient and consistent manner. Now, the other side of the chamber, Mr Speaker, you know, they've thrown some comments around trying to do their usual tactic of scaremongering and going way off the topic in terms of this particular student loan bill with just some, you know, technical changes and improvements. So I just do want to reiterate what the points were, because for those listening to some of the Labour members, they probably hadn't realised exactly what this bill does. So first of all, it extends the interest-free loan to two special groups in recognition of the high value of tertiary education in building a strong economy. So it's extending interest-free loans to borrowers who live in countries that are part of the realm of New Zealand. An important part of it also in the improvement is to extend the interest-free loans, Mr Speaker, to students who are furthering their education overseas. So, for example, if they're studying a course of its a very technical or specialised nature that's not available here, they're able to still access the student loan through that process. And then there was a few technical and remedial changes to the bill, which I won't repeat, given that they've been discussed at length. So, Mr Speaker, this bill will ensure the student loan scheme continues to function as intended. Continues to function as intended. It improves the student loan scheme, and that's why, Mr Speaker, I'm proud to support this bill.